Yes, y'all. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Proetiq Radio. What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Yo, what you saying, man?
I'm just chilling, bro. Nice to meet you guys. It's Proetiq Radio, episode 146, from Van City to Saga City, CFRA Radio, all the way to Co-op Radio, 100.5 FM. Homies in the building. Pleasure to meet you guys for the first time.
It's good.
Would you like to introduce yourself and the company that you do and what you guys do and everything?
Yeah, I go by Tapper.
All right.
I'm a recording artist from Brampton, Ontario.
Sick.
Also co-partner with my friend here, Renato. We run an ad hoc.
Government name.
Gotta for the government, so we serious out here.
Yes, sir.
Yo, if you look up my government name, I don't exist. That's the craziest part.
But we run an organization known as The Basements. I'll let Ren take it from there. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Ren, or sometimes I go by Renji. Man, I don't really know how to describe myself. I'm kind of got my hands in a lot of buckets, but Jordan often says I'm a dot connector.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I spend my year in Thunder Bay studying law at
way.
Alaskan. I am very tired at all times,
I feel that.
but it's a good time. I've always been passionate about the arts and accelerating artists, and watching my friends do what they do and how their talent grows. I've always wanted to figure out a way to help elevate them and their careers. And I had during undergrad, I was an active advocate in Brampton, and so I've been very politically involved. So, when I had an idea on how we could create something special for artists in the city, I went immediately to Jordan, and we started cooking up this idea.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So how did you guys first link up with this idea? When was the first time you guys linked up and were like, okay, let's do this event? And then when was the first event from that point?
Yo, it's hard to pinpoint the exact time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've been watching Jordan do live shows for I don't know how many years
And we
at
went
this
to
point.
high school together.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
we went to high school
What
together,
school did you guys go to?
Ambrosic. Cardinal Ambrosic.
Cardinal
Brampton,
Ambrosius?
yeah.
In Brampton. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's a bit of a small school. A lot of people don't know the name, so.
Okay.
No offense.
No worries.
Yeah,
Dope.
but yeah,
That's dope.
I've been following his career since I've met him in ninth grade.
Dope.
And I've been watching him perform since about first year uni.
And what uni is this at?
York.
York? Okay, you guys both went to York as well,
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Both
different
went to high
majors,
school
though.
and
Yeah.
the same uni. That's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah, different
And
majors.
okay, that's sick. Yeah.
He almost went to law school too.
Shit.
Yeah, I was supposed to go, and I just said you know what, I genuinely have a love for this artist shit, and I was like, if I pursued law, I knew I wouldn't be able to give it the absolute passion and time that it would require. So I said, let me step back, let me just finish my degree,
Yeah.
and let me just build what I want to build, So been at it ever since.
That's crazy. And when was so you started writing rhymes, and is that what you do? You rap,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
in
rap.
grade 9?
No, I've been rapping since elementary school.
Dope,
I was
dope.
putting out mixtapes and stuff like that.
Oh, crazy.
And, it wasn't until 2018 I was like, you know what? Let me invest into this. Let me put my own money up and hire a recording engineer and do stuff like that. And basically been at it since. I've done a couple shows, done a few festivals, and now I'm at a point where because I've been doing it for a while, I feel like I'm still pursuing the artist stuff, but now it's what else can I do on top of just being an artist that just releases music? What other initiatives can I build on to help other artists as well? What issues do I have in the industry, and how can I mediate those for others all along the way?
That's that's when the venues kind of started coming into play and everything like that.
Because
That's dope.
Renji here has a background in event planning.
Okay.
And I have me being the artist. One of the things I always shared with Renji is that there's not a lot of opportunities in the city to get genuinely paid as an artist. You know what I mean? And on top of that, not only is it hard to get paid, it's hard to do events that make you feel like you're genuinely appreciated as an attendee and as an artist. You know what I mean? So we've been to events where people will just come and go. People organizers are more worried about how many people can we get through the door rather than what's the artist experience, right? If I'm like if you're going to a concert, you know,
Uh-huh.
what's the chances of you sitting through 15 different performers?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to see who you came to see,
Uh-huh.
and maybe the person before that and person after that, and you're going home, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to create a showcase, an event where you get the best of both worlds. Like you got an event that summarizes kind of the best of what's going on in the GTA without feeling dragged on and without feeling
Smart,
like
yeah.
we're just money grabbing and without feeling like we're just picking any artist we could find. We're curating each and every individual act while at the same time taking care of the attendees. Like you're coming, you're getting fed, you're finding good music, and you're in a community in a sense where you're actually fucking with the people you're in the room with, you know. It's not no weird vibes or nothing. So we wanted to put that together, and not to mention nothing like that's going on in the city right now in Brampton or barely even in Toronto anymore. So
consistently at least.
Consistently,
I feel like I hear
consistently.
about these pop-up ones, but it's not consistent.
And because you were saying like, you know, you mentioned like not happening in Brampton because that's where we're focused on right now. But the other side of it is we've been going to concerts in Toronto for a long time. This summer we've hit I don't know how many. And when we talk about like really unforgettable experiences, there's a handful. If I'm being generous, there's one that really sticks out. But like otherwise, it's very much just like this person got to go on stage and do their thing. But beyond that, there wasn't much else there. And so. For me, as like just a resident of the city, I'm like, what creates community? What makes people excited to be where they're from? What creates a bit of pride? And I feel like a lot of that is exciting events. When I hear what my parents, my mom used to go to a lot of concerts in Toronto when she was growing up, and like she always has stories about what shows were like, about waiting in line for tickets, about getting invited to the rave afterward, because also what a rave is.
Your
now.
mom told you that's crazy, dude.
My mom was my mom. Okay, you know how other parents will get disappointed because you don't study enough. My mom will get disappointed that I don't party enough.
No, that's sick, bro.
Like she's like, okay, you're in law school, you made it, but like, are you having fun?
Word.
Life experience, and I'm like, I'm an introvert, right? So like, I'm not all of that stuff is always interesting to me, but like. She just likes teasing me about it. But anyways, I hear about these experiences. I'm like, she's like, oh, I feel like you never got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not around. It's
that's
not
facts. That's facts.
It's not even necessarily like whether or not it's my interest. It's like, was it even available?
Also, like, where did your mom grow up? Like, what city?
Scarborough.
Toronto. Oh, see, that was more around over there too. I feel like Scarborough is a community of its own, where like, especially like in the times that she grew up, there was a whole lot of like every community center you go to, there's probably like every couple of weeks there's like a talent show kind of thing.
There was always stuff
a
going on, and I think it was, you know, the nature of the culture was very different. Like, there wasn't as much media for you to consume, right? You couldn't just enjoy yourself at home. You had to go out. You had to see your friends, and your friends would put something on, or your neighbor would put something on. I mean, even stories I hear back then, like sometimes the family would have, like a family or a neighbor would have like a pool, and those kids are in college, so nobody's using the pool. So the neighborhood kids knew that they were welcome to use the pool, and like if the homeowner saw you, they probably brought you out a snack. Like the community was very different.
That's dope
back then, right? You know,
and I think that's the disconnect right now because look, like we were discussing earlier, like everybody is so consumed by what's on their phone and social media that it's very easy to be entertained at home. You know, it's very easy to not get FOMO because you're either watching the recap on your phone or you're watching it through the perspective of other people posting it, right? So now, like, you don't need to go to the Burna Boy concert because 10 other people you follow was there.
But it doesn't build community though, like that kind of stuff. Like it gets you depressed, frankly, because like all you do is like end up sitting at home scrolling, and then you're just going down these rabbit holes. Whereas like you go to that concert or go to that small venue or big venue, and you have that experience, getting there, going there with your friends, meeting random people, enjoying the music, feeling the bass, like, you know, like it's a different
Look
vibe,
at something
right?
as simple as going to the movies, right? Going to the movies used to be an entire experience. Like it'd be a meetup before the movie. You go to the movie, you'd link up after the movie, you talk about the movie, you'd go home still thinking about the movie. Now all that's stripped away. It's just Netflix and until you fall asleep.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So going back to what you said about like with the show particularly, right? And how you guys aren't really focused on just having like 15 like artists that not a lot of people know about, and people just go and they leave when their friends are done, and you're trying to keep it like engaging, and like you have some people that are like well known in the GTA and stuff to make it not feel like a dragged on show. what system do you kind of have put in place to make sure something like that happens? Like in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, you have like 10 local artists, but you have like 4 that everybody knows of, so you kind of like split them, you know, every quarterly kind of thing.
It's not even like that, because that's a very long event when you start talking about
10,
10
15,
artists,
that's
right?
a lot of people.
You
Yeah,
know, our event is very quick, and we decided on that structure to be very concise early on, because we knew that like we were kind of asking a lot from people, because the expectation on an event in Brampton, especially a music event, is a lot more skewed by social media bias than an event in Toronto, right? So we're like,
makes
okay,
a lot of sense. Yeah,
right. So
you don't even need to say what you're talking about. I know
you
exactly
know what I'm talking about.
Right?
Yeah, I don't want to embellish or nothing, but like the thing is people kind of come in with that bias. So we're like, okay, we need this to be short, sweet, and then people go, I'm not finished yet, and that's actually exactly what happened. So when me and Jordan were talking about it, we decided about 15-20 minutes per artist, 4 artists, and 4 artists who complement each other but also fill in gaps, right? So you're not getting a lot of the same sound, you're kind of getting a different vibe for each person.
That's dope.
With last year's show, it went off very well, very smoothly, and you know, when we were kind of doing like our post-event survey, there wasn't a consistent favorite. It wasn't like, my favorite was NC Capo, and he was like the top one. It was like a well spread across the 4 artists. There was no unanimous favorite, because we were really good at picking both the audience and the artist to kind of make sure everyone was having the right vibe.
Okay. Sick.
And I'm trying to. What else? What else do we do to kind of like make it
like my thing overall? Because I'm an artist myself, right? And I just think about it from the perspective of if I'm coming to a show, you know, what would feel off balance right away, right?
Yeah.
What would feel weird? And I think the weirdest shows I've been to is where you have an R&B act, then you have like a screamo rap type thing right after. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like
very different.
Yeah, so it's
different
like how do
aux
we
holders.
Yeah. So how do we have everybody compliment each other in a sense? So that's how I look. That's the only way I look at it, and from there, I look at my network of creatives that I know, and I'm thinking like who do I think would complement each other well?
That's
you
dope.
know, and trying to exclude myself, you know, because that's another big thing too. It's like I don't want to do it in a way where, because I'm an artist and people ask me like, why don't you just perform at the shows? But I feel like, especially because we're trying to show people what is possible with artists in the GTA, it felt more reasonable for me to step back and say, let me curate, and then from there, as we build it, maybe I'll come do a show or something. But for now, it's more about, I don't want to be biased to myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And say, let me just curate who I think sound well together.
And it's very important for us to like focus on the artist experience, to know that, to make sure they know we care about them.
For sure.
That anything that we send their way, whether it's the event or maybe someone hits us up saying, hey, we want that performer to do our show. If we're sending them over, we've already kind of worked out that this is going to be worth their while, both like financially and promotionally. We really want our artists to know, not just the artists who perform, but the ones who come to the show as guests, potentially to perform later, or even just be part of the community, that if you're involved with us, we're doing our best to take care of you. We're not trying to just flood you out and it's all meaningless. We're trying to create a real community.
You're not just trying to get a fill-in spot by them.
Exactly.
We want artists that don't just they're not here for just a bag and they're cutting, you know? Like we want to show them that like this is something you could be a part of. You know, if you genuinely believe in the mission, right? So
that's dope. And how do you like guarantee, or like not guarantee per se, but like how do you make sure that that room gets full? Like, do you get the artists to sell their own tickets, or do you guys have a couple different promotions?
So that's one thing too.
That's dope.
As an artist, one of my biggest pet peeves is when a organizer will for showcases, when an organizer I'm having a brain fart.
When they rely on the artist to do all the work.
They're basically just trying to take your audience and cross promote in a way. It feels like that sometimes.
Right, and as an artist, that was definitely like your side to it. But as a guest, because I'm thinking about the guests a lot, because if the guests aren't excited about the event, they're not going to come back. And we're trying, when you say like build a community, I mean, we want this to be something that people are excited to go to, right? Artist excitement, artist support, all of that's great. But what's really important is bringing them an audience who cares and is interested.
Yeah, because when you rely too much on a specific artist to bring in tickets, You know, you've ever been to a show and when that artist gets off stage, the whole crowd leaves, and now you feel like
you don't want that.
Yeah, and now you feel like the next person performing is not as good because I don't know, like if this guy came and packed the room and now they're gone. I've seen that numerous times. So my thing is, let's not rely on the artist to bring their people. Let's rely on like external forms of marketing so that everybody who's coming is not coming for a specific artist. They're coming for the event and they're coming for the night.
And that's why we take care of our audience so much. That's why we try and have like good food from like local businesses that we go to ourselves, that we can like actually endorse. Like it all goes toward creating that energy where people are excited. They know they're gonna find something new. They're gonna get something really well made.
True.
And it all is made in service of just making sure everyone feels taken care of. Yeah. So they're excited. Because actually, what I forgot to mention is with the last event, live stream finished, concert finished. We're wrapping up. We're thanked everybody, and we're just kind of cleaning up and handing out the giveaways.
True.
And nobody left.
Yeah.
Everyone was still there.
And why did that work where nobody left as opposed to other shows?
I couldn't tell. I mean, I was organized, so I was like running back and forth.
The
But
vibes were
vibes.
immaculate. There was still food.
Yep.
There's still food. You gotta have food.
They're not done.
Like if you was in a rush to get out, you'd be out before they even tell you they're out.
But what's crazy though is we knew a couple of guys like, hey, like it was co-performers, like, hey, like I know that like we're not supposed to leave, but like I got a family event. I'm like, hey man, it's okay. Like I understand. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Show's over. I'm like, didn't you have somewhere to go? He's like, I already told them I'm late.
You know what's crazy? I feel like that comes a lot to the fact that you guys said there's no liquor license involved. That attributes to that because people aren't there just to get drunk. Like they're they're there for the vibes. You know, like they're not just like they have a couple of beers and they're buzzed and now they just want to go home.
And on top of that, we make the events short enough where you feel like you got everything, a well-rounded performance, and it didn't take up your whole night. Yeah, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, sometimes, especially if you're commuting to Toronto for a show, sometimes it feels like it's the rest of your evening's booked off. You know what I mean? You gotta commute there, you gotta sit through all these performances. But my whole thing was like, when we were trying to organize how we wanted to go about it, it was like, yo, how do we make it well-rounded, not make it too long? When the event's done, you feel like, damn, I got everything, like I got a good experience within 2 hours time maximum. You know, so
everything you needed.
Yeah,
that's dope. Interesting. And even like going back to what you said about when one artist leaves and everybody leaves with them. Yeah, that's kind of like how it goes with almost every concert, and the reason why headliners are headliners, because that's why they don't put the headliner first and then all the openers after, because they know people are gonna leave, right? Yeah,
but the problem with independent up and coming artists, right, is that you can't, like, you they don't really know how to choose a headliner, right? Yeah. So you have the person you have bringing in the most tickets or bringing in the most people. They tend to they don't place them last anymore. They tend to place them in the middle. Yeah, you know. So now you have most people come in the middle and no one's staying for the last act.
See, that's not good marketing then, right?
Not, yeah,
that's crazy.
It's not. Usually, ideally, you'd want them at the end, right? But it's really weird.
Interesting. So this show that's coming up on Friday, how do people? Saturday. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Dope. Either way, I'm not gonna be here. Shit, and usually I'm off on Saturday. Damn. Next time.
Watch the live stream.
There you go.
Yo, stay in contact because we're trying to do these annually and do other stuff during the year as well.
Facts. Is it Twitch live stream or YouTube live stream? Like YouTube live stream. That's dope. How do you guys go about finding these venues that you do your shows at and stuff like that?
Research and just like going in person, driving around. Like for us, because vibe is such an important part of the show, we're strict on what's currently available, what has potential. Obviously what fits in the budget, and like who's willing to work with us and make this show happen. Like we've had a lot of city support with the funding.
Like Brampton City or
City of Brampton. Oh, that's we're mostly funded by Advanced Brampton Fund. That's the grant we get. Okay, we have some private sponsors as well. Some are donating food, some put in money. Yeah. And a lot of the businesses have also like just kind of helped us where they could in other ways. Because a lot of people understand the value of building a community that's excited to come to this kind of stuff, to have events that just feels like it's done for the goodness of people enjoying themselves.
True.
Right. Actually, a big thing I think about that's just making me remember it now is some real estate agents will go crazy on some of these parties, like these neighborhood barbecues and stuff, and they realistically gain nothing from it. It's all marketing, but then people are excited and they trust them, and so when they're like kind of in the market for something, or they even just want to ask questions, they know who to go to. They know the guy who takes care of them, right? And that's kind of, we're seeing like people recognize the value of just building relationships.
Yeah, real estate agent as in like people that sell houses, like kind of real estate.
estate.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah.
Like, and not that we're working any for this show, but like when I think about who's really good at doing community events, like some of the real estate agents that I've seen, like they're always doing stuff and they've got like their branding all over it, but it's just like sometimes it's just a fun time for families to go to.
Like at open houses kind of thing.
Oh, no, it was just in the park.
Oh, just for fun.
Yeah,
oh,
just
true.
in the park, doing a barbecue in the park.
Oh, that's dope. Interesting. I never thought about that, but that's dope. That's
It's just relationship building, just making people feel appreciated, making them, making sure that they can like kind of put a face to the name and like build that trust. And that's a lot of what we're going for. Like, you know, we focus on making it a small event where this event, like this Live at the Basement, we're capping it around 100, 150 people, and we don't think we're going to grow it much larger than that for this style, this intimate concert. Right. Other events is a different story, but that way we can kind of have everyone talk to each other. We can talk to the guests. The artists can talk to the attendees as well, and just really get to know each other.
Facts.
And how did the artists like? How did they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them, or where do you find
as of
those
now,
artists?
because it's like the beginning, it's our second year.
Yeah.
I currently reach out to them, and by next year we eventually want like a submission form where we could just have other people come in and say like, hey, I want to perform, I want to be involved. So yeah, as of now, like I'm picking them out of my network. But we do want to open it up so people can apply and us kind of go through that list and see, all right, who can we pick out of? Because at the end of the day, we want, like, there's a difference between, like, especially in music, it's a very saturated market. Everybody does music. Yeah. Everybody claims to be an artist. Everybody claims to be a performer. But I think a high degree of your skill comes from how well can you perform in both intimate spaces and public spaces, right? So,
interesting,
we are very careful in curating that, because you could have great music and be a shitty performer. And I've seen it, right? Like, you can't cultivate an audience. You don't have a stage presence, right? So, our whole thing is like, we don't want to open it up to everybody. So we do have to still maintain that quality. So when people come to events, they're surprised at the quality of artists and the quality of performance. We do have to go about it in a way where it's like we're curating who touches the stage, right?
And of course, we'd like to get to a point where it stops being a surprise. That they know
what
exactly
what
to expect. They know they're getting good food. They know they're getting great performances. They know they're getting a great vibe. Right now, it's year 2. So, you know, it's still a surprise.
That's crazy.
And actually, it was funny that you mentioned surprise, because some of the people who supported us last year were like, you know, I like these guys. I've met them before. I'll help them out. But then they'd watch the concert tape, like, which we just put. It's the live stream just done afterward. And they were like, oh my God, these people are talented.
That's sick.
And it was like, like, that's what we were saying, because again, like, even if you want to put aside the artist side of it, when you have a great performer that knows how to interact with the crowd and make them feel like involved with the music and really connected, which is easier to do in an intimate space, like, they're a lot more in tune with what's going on. They're a lot more interested, and they leave a positive experience. Like, I love theater, like live theater, and the first time I ever went, I just had no idea what to expect. And when this beautiful production was put on in front of me, it was Mary Poppins.
Really? Jokes,
Mary Poppins was my first play, and when I saw that, I was like, I get it. Like, I get why people love this. I get why they're so passionate about it, and that's kind of that click is what I would like to make for our audience going forward.
There's no room for mistakes on a live stage. Like, that's why even like actors, even like Denzel would say, like, the best way to get into it is by doing live theater and stuff like that, because like now you're interacting with people and you're doing it without no, you know, edits and stuff. So like
unfiltered.
Unfiltered kind of thing.
That's the same thing with performances, right? As an artist, that's where your true test of, especially nowadays with social media. Once again, like, it's so easy to be like, go very viral and never touch a stage in your life, right? And never done a show in your life, and not have that that artist development to actually perform, right? So I feel like especially now more than ever, you're gonna have a lot of those artists that, yeah, they're good music, but can't perform. You know, so.
Damn. Is there a lot of artists that you guys have that it's like the first time they've ever performed was at some of your shows, or
No,
do you
we
guys
don't do
thoroughly
that.
look for
No.
people that have
We're always in for
experience?
resumes.
Yeah, we're looking for people who know what they're doing,
Mm.
right? And it's no disrespect to like those starting out because
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I once started out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
It's just it go like I said once again. It goes to speak of the quality of the event, right? Like this is not an open mic. You know,
Yeah,
this is not- this is
exactly. I
not
got
for
you. I
to
got
come and
you.
Test the waters. This
Yeah.
is to show. This is to show the rest
Yeah.
of the GTA, the rest of.
We got
you
a
know,
live stream. The rest of the world, anybody can watch.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's a
You know?
live stream too. Yeah.
to show them what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? So, we prefer talent that's more developed,
Mm.
talent that knows how to perform. They have experience performing. This is not their first rodeo.
Yeah.
And you know, so yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying controlling the crowd is really important. Like
Yeah,
even when
yeah.
we were picking the order of the acts last year,
Yeah.
Jordan put NC Capo first specifically because he knew like this is our first show. We need someone who we have 100% confidence
True.
knows how to warm up that crowd,
Yeah.
and it was great because even people were saying like everyone was telling us starting off with that they're like, oh, that guy who did the thing, he rubbed his hands together and he's like, lend me your energy, kind of doing that Dragon Ball reference.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
it immediately made people interacting with
That's
the stage
crazy,
and
yeah.
engaged with the show, so that when the other artists came on and did their thing, they were already tuned in.
Yeah.
And our final performer actually, because we didn't think to ask about this at first, but because our first show was in a recording studio,
Oh,
there's a lot of
damn.
instruments like tambourines, maracas, and stuff on the walls. And so, kind of break the fourth wall moment. Am I allowed to use these?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, go.
That's crazy.
And so she started handing them out to people in the audience to play
That's
along
crazy.
for a final
The
song.
audience is involved in the performance.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the
Damn.
level of intimacy we strive for, right, with this
Yeah.
show. And you know, these are moments that you can't curate as a beginner. You know?
Yeah.
It takes years of doing shows to understand, okay, how am I going to get the audience involved? How am I going to get them from, you know, to snap out of that third wall?
Yeah,
that
it's
third,
like-
you know?
Not being attentive, how to make them engage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it where was the studio you guys did in? Was it Metalworks or another?
No, it was in
No,
Branson.
there was a
Oh,
studio
say
in
word.
Branson
Okay.
called Nightlight
Recordings.
Dope.
And it's funny because coincidentally, the studio is located in the basement of a church.
Oh no
So
way.
now it's our first
Damn.
event. We're calling it the basement, and it's located in a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
So-
set that branding nice and strong.
Yo,
Tell you
real
what.
strong.
Yeah.
In the
Still
Catholic
pretty-
church.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Basement.
Or the cathedral.
Well, and it worked really well because that
Dope.
we'd spoken with the people who run the church,
Uh-huh,
and their thing was they're like they had a lot of like Catholic or Christian recording or artists who were coming in
Yeah.
because it was a church. They obviously knew they could go. It was a Catholic.
Yeah.
I think it was a Christian church technically,
Yeah.
and or United Church. Sorry, I don't want to be incorrect.
Mm.
And they had told us like we want other people from this community, this very diverse community, to know that they're welcome here. This isn't
Yeah.
like only for these people. Like we want them to know. So they were very on board and they're very interested. They're very helpful. They did a lot to support us as well.
Yeah.
Because they knew that like we were bringing in a more diverse audience, and with the live stream we were accessing just like a broader audience in general.
Interesting.
So they would know that like yeah, like this is for everybody. You
Yeah.
are allowed to come here and like reserve time and record your music. We want everybody to make use of it. I think the way he explained it is he's like, some churches got a like a gymnasium, we have a recording studio.
Yeah.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Damn, I didn't know that churches had gymnasiums.
Yeah,
either.
like a basketball, you know, like the school gymnasiums,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
basketball
yeah.
nets and the volleyball nets and stuff.
True.
So like some have that for like the community to use, and it's like the community, no one thinks twice about it because
Yeah.
I guess they're not always in the basement of the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
And this one was in the basement of the church, so they were worried that people might be intimidated
Yeah.
to use it. So like they were very, very supportive, but they were also, because it was the first time they ever done something like that, it was like a very small number, and like we were telling you outside, we exceeded capacity and like
Started
fire
freaking
code
out.
capacity.
Oh, this is the one that you guys exceeded
Yeah.
capacity?
Yeah,
Freaking
so
out.
so we had to like kick people out. we like let's say you need to show up at this time. Doors lock at this time. We told some of our personal friends that we knew, like, sorry, buddy, like you're not getting in. Like we had to do it because out of respect for everything they did for us, we're not gonna
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to
jam this
ruin their
basement.
space.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
want to burn a bridge.
But
Yeah.
That
you know,
kind of
actually,
stuff,
talking about ruining their space, the exact opposite happened, because the two guys who were running the thing, like, they just kind of sat back while like a bunch of people who were hanging around were like, I mean, hey, if you're gonna stay here and talk, you want to just help us clean up?
Yeah.
So the people were helping us clean up all the food
That's
and like
dope.
all the
That's
stuff
good.
laying around. Like it was
Yeah.
all about that like tight knit community.
That's dope. What kind of food did you guys have at that event last year?
We had like mini sandwiches,
pizza.
charcuterie boards,
Gourmet
some
pizza.
yeah,
Yeah,
authentic
gourmet.
Italian
Yeah.
pizza.
What
What
desserts
else?
did we have?
Oh my god, we had so many desserts. We
A lot of
had
desserts.
we had mini cheesecakes, chocolate mousses, macarons.
Damn.
What else? Yeah, I can't remember. Those are the highlights. There was like some salad, like macaroni salads as well, with a 3-bean salad, charcuterie board. Yeah,
we're not playing.
We're not playing.
Yeah, it sounds more like a food get together.
We're not
That's
playing.
sick, bro.
Like,
Feeding everyone. I remember like some of the artists came up and they went to the kitchen. They're like, oh, like how can we help? And my mom, who was like helping prep the food, she's like, take this home, and she just gave them like a box of pizza.
That's dope.
And she's like, that's how you can help. Take this pizza home.
Amazing.
yeah, this year we got free dozen Krispy Kreme donuts for everybody attending.
In person,
So,
yeah.
A free dozen
Krispy Kreme
donuts for
donuts.
everybody attending.
Free
Damn.
dozen. So anybody who's attending on your way out, you get
You're
a
getting
full box.
a dozen of
Damn.
Krispy Kremers and a
I'm gonna be
glaze.
straight with you. I originally did not want to do it.
Yeah.
I did not want to do it.
Why
He's
is
like,
that?
he tells me this is
I'm
the
like,
gluttony
this is-
the Bible warns you about.
This is gluttony. This is too much. Like it's you know what I mean? Like where have you went somewhere and they're like, here's a box of Krispy Kreme donuts on your way out, like a box.
Should know,
You know what I
nowhere
mean?
that I've gone enough. I need to start going to places like
And,
that.
yeah, and we're like, no, we gotta do it. We gotta do it, y'all.
That's crazy.
And like we looked at the numbers and we're like, you know what? It actually is doable.
Yeah.
So
And how do you guys, does Krispy Kreme like sponsor you guys, or you just like buy a bunch of stuff from
They
them?
have an initiative that nonprofits can take advantage of.
Oh, no
And
way.
So we're
Okay,
an
okay.
ad hoc nonprofit, but we're administered by a registered nonprofit, and so they're the ones that like are doing like it's their name attached to most stuff in term for a lot of these advantages that we can take advantage of. Just because like we're not officially registered, but we're looking to go through the registration process because
Of being a registered non-for-profit?
of being a registered not-for-profit,
Okay.
because there's just a lot more things that we can take advantage of, a lot more stuff that we can have direct control over without having to go through someone else. And then also like it allows those
cutting the
nonprofits.
middleman.
You're cutting the middleman, but
Yeah.
also for those guys as well. You know, if they weren't applying for the funding that we're using, it's no big deal. But if they had a plan, it's kind of now like, okay, well, you're taking that fund away from me for your event, right?
True.
So we've had
Interesting.
people who are like gracious enough that like I have a relationship with that like trust me to lead this event and know that like it will go well, because again, like we're very strict on how everything's conducted.
Yeah.
But again, like if they ever wanted to use that fund, and in some cases I know they have used the fund in the past, so it's kind of like if you had no plans, we're going to use it, but sometimes we kind of like kick them into overdrive, like make a decision because I need to do this event, right? So having it ourselves, it cuts out the middleman. It also doesn't have to get them, I guess, like losing something if they were planning to use it, right?
Yeah, I guess the benefit of working for the registered non-for-profit is that they already kind of know the links and like what to kind of do, so you could kind of like use them as a mentor kind of thing. So when you level up to the the registered non-for-profit, you already know what I need to do kind of thing.
And I think now, like after this year, we'll be entering like our third year doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's we've gone through more than enough experience to say, you know what, I think we could take it from here. Like, I think we could, we could get these grants ourselves. We could administer things ourselves, and we're just looking in the sense of like after this year, like what's the point really of going through another middleman if we want to keep building it.
There's also just more potential like on the business side when it's you, right? And you have more control because it's also a lot clearer. There's a lot less like confusion.
Yeah.
And the nonprofits we've worked with who've been gracious enough to like essentially give us their reputation and their information to use for this event have taught us a lot and have helped us get our feet off the ground. And so now it's kind of like, okay, like thank you for everything you've done, but like now we've got it from here.
So, but do you think there's any concern of, let's just say you break away from the non-for-profits you already work for, do you think there's any concern of like there will be less of a turnout kind of thing now because you're not with this
Oh no, we do
big
all
profit
the
kind of thing?
Yeah, because
okay.
we do a lot ourselves. I think a lot of the small businesses and just connections behind the scenes, we've garnered a lot of respect for, in the sense where now, when it's time for us to cut the middleman, we built that resume to say like, you guys know what we do. You guys know how the last 2 events came out. It's like it's not even a question. Like, we're gonna help you guys out because we've seen your resume. You know, so I think dope. You know, if you're doing it out of nowhere, like out of thin air, you're gonna have those problems. But I feel like at this point, like it's, especially with how Saturday's gonna go, because I think it's gonna go amazing once again. It's you're like I said, you're building that resume.
And the kind of the agreement with the nonprofits we've worked with is like, I kind of told them like, mentor us behind the scenes, but like, let us do the work. We didn't want to rely a lot on like their name and their trust, especially because we're already doing that with the funder and getting the funding. So it's like with them administering the program in the formal side of things, we're like, we also need to build our own trust and relationship with the community, with the artists, with the businesses. So, you know, we don't want to, especially if like we messed up like really big, right? In some form or fashion, we want them to know that was us, not them, right? And take responsibility for our actions in those regards, and also, you know, take the credit where it's our work, right? And so, and when I say like they've been very helpful, they have taught us a lot behind the scenes, and also respected our brand and our boundary, and know that like when to give us advice, how to give us advice, and not to like step in, because again, like if we mess up, it's us, and we want to make sure there's that division, that guy's image isn't hurt, and that they know if we did do something wrong, it was
interesting. So why did you go about where you are a non-for-profit but you work for another one? Like what was the mentality behind that, if you could do it by yourself in the first place?
First things first, to my understanding, to even register as a non-profit, I believe you need minimum 2 years of financial records.
Well, so
financial records showing what,
not
though?
Financial records. So, like, yes, you need a bit of a history with the funders, right? Not just because it's the idea is we're gonna give you this money to put on an event. It's a grant. It's not a loan. So we need to know that you can be trusted to not pocket this money, commit a bunch of fraud. Because like it's happened in the past, and people, I'm sure people probably still do it. So it's all about like protection and trust, and then also that you're really doing something for the community. So there's the history side of it, the financial history side, because you can get small grants as an individual, and as you kind of build that grant history over like a couple of years, then it's like, okay, cool, like this guy already can be trusted. So when that person becomes a founder or is on a board of a nonprofit, then there's a little bit already of a name and trust. I mean, Jordan's already got some artist grants. I've got some business grants. So like when we're on a board for an official nonprofit, it's like, okay, so this isn't coming out of nowhere. The brand has a history. These two have a history. So there's that side of it. It's also that with being an official registered non-for-profit, there's a lot more responsibility and liability, a lot more paperwork, a lot of things that like you don't know if you want to take on when it's your first year. Right? So an ad hoc non-for-profit just means
say that again, to what?
Ad hoc non-for-profit.
What is it?
That's basically not registered, right?
How do you spell ADO?
ADHOC.
ADHOC. That is that stand for anything?
I don't know what it's it's the word I always hear. It basically means unregistered.
So it's a non-for-profit, but it's not like
it's not registered. It doesn't have like a business number. Right?
Okay, cool.
And like the point is like we operate as one. We don't end with like business profits as per the definition of not-for-profit corporation. But we just aren't a registered business. So where we work with a registered not-for-profit is to get us like past a lot of the barriers we would have as an ad hoc who has no history.
Somebody who's got the permits and the links and the bindings,
insurance,
the insurances.
Nonprofit is not like registering as a nonprofit versus registering as a corporation or as a business. It's not the same. Like a business, you could wake up tomorrow and decide to register as a business, and go through it and get it done. But as a nonprofit, as Renji said, there needs to be, proof has to be in the pudding that you're actually attempting to do something, and there has to be a resume behind
And
everything.
it's very important for me as like someone who's worked with a lot of non-for-profits. I see how the structure works. I see how much stress is involved if things aren't in proper order. So for me, a big thing to make our lives easier and also grow a lot stronger is making sure that like we've got strong footing, and that's where like working with other established mentors is a big help, right? We don't have to worry about kind of jumping in head first and finding out the hard way that we messed up, kind of killed our brand or trust with the funders, even if the community really likes us, right? Like we definitely want to make sure things are run very much in order. And with a not-for-profit, there's just a lot more obligation, responsibility, and paperwork than there is with a for-profit. So that's why you could go.
Say that again. So with the non-for-profit, there's a lot more
responsibility and obligation
than a profit,
than a for-profit.
But
right?
why is that though?
Because you're working with the funders, you're working with the government, right?
I got
when you're a for-profit,
it's not your own dime anymore.
Yeah, exactly. When you're a for-profit, it's just
okay.
you, right? You lose money, that's your problem. You spend money badly, that's your problem. But when you spend like government grants, you spend the city's money. Well, that's tax money. You know? Well, that's tax money, right?
You're
so,
literally like you're being hired to manage somebody's money. Like,
exactly,
like
and that's tax money. So you're going to put something on for the city, province, country, whatever level of funding you're looking at. You know, you owe it to the people, to the community, to do something good, to make something exciting that they actually want to be a part of. Because you know, nobody likes paying taxes, but when you have to do your part. So if you're being given some of that money to put something on, you want to make sure you're doing it right.
True.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. So is that the reason why you guys decided to do a non-for-profit instead of profit? Like, what? Even though it's more responsibility with non-for-profit, like, why did you guys want to go with the non-for-profit rather than like the opposite, like a profitable
I'll start
business?
off by saying this. Like, one of the biggest things me and Reggie talk about is not passing on the cost to the consumer or to the attendee.
Okay.
And I mean it in a sense where if we can garner grants through nonprofits and utilize that to put on a genuinely good event where it doesn't feel like the attendee is putting up the money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you pay to go. If you go Rolling Loud, you know, you got to put up a rack, but you're putting up a rack because you know you're going to see A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yes.
But if we could do what we can to mitigate how much like that we're charging the attendee or whatnot, like you know, it's a better free, you know, experience. Does that make sense?
Wait,
like,
so do they get charged? Like, are people paying for the tickets? Or
the tickets are, we do charge entry, and as much as like not putting the cost on the audience is an aspect of it, because this year's tickets are only $15 each.
Oh,
and you
crazy!
I mean, if we're being honest, $15 that covers your 12-pack of donuts, let alone the food, the performances. Right.
And personally, like speaking, like if it was the only reason we didn't make it free is because look, as my experience. Running like doing my own events, my own listening parties, and concerts and such, is when you make something free. You know, it's very easy for someone to on the spot RSVP and say, "Yeah, I'll be there," and then bail. But exactly. If you're putting money, but you don't want it too expensive at the same time where they gotta hesitate. So you want that middle ground where they put something down to remember, like, oh shoot, I paid for that, I gotta be there. You know, so that's the only reason why we're even charging.
Genius.
You know?
It's all about for us. It's all about taking care of people. Right. That was kind of the big reason we wanted to go for some of that funding, is because it's about building like some pride in where you're from.
For sure.
And representing your city and representing your community and your people. And you know, we don't want to put up more financial barriers. There's enough walls, right? It's hard to make an exciting event and nobody can afford to go.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes you go to these $1,000, $200, $300, $400 events, and they're not always exciting. But you spent the money, so you almost kind of gaslight yourself into thinking it was great.
You make yourself think it was worth it. Put the money up, but
no, this is for our people. This is for our city. This is for our artists, and like we want them to know that they're taken care of. And so the nonprofit route just seemed like the best way to do it, to make sure that they don't have to eat the cost of it. Because I feel like also part of it is when you don't really have a brand yet and you don't have trust. That's a big ask for some people, right? And so by us working with the city or the different levels of government to put this on, like we're kind of taking that level of pressure away from them, because you know it's paid for with like communal taxes. That's why we're kind of giving back to our community.
No,
with
that's
these kind
dope.
of things.
Yeah. use the taxpayers' money right, because everybody else is
and
throwing it out the
best
window.
events are not for profit. A lot of
It's true though, bro. I got a parking ticket for parking by Gabby's. That's taxpayers' money.
But like you said, some of the best events like you attend as an attendee are ran non-for-profit, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like when something's for profit, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell when you show up that like you're paying for it in a way. You know what I mean? Like.
What do you elaborate? Like, because it's like it's not a non-for-profit. It feels like tacky in a way. Like you're paying too much.
Goal is to end the year growing, right? End the year with more money than the last year. A not-for-profit's goal is to end the year with no money, because that's a not-for-profit.
But build the buzz though.
Right? Yeah. Build trust. Do good for the community. There's other goals they have that are non-financial.
Yeah.
A for-profit's business goals are all financial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a not-for-profit event, a not-for-profit company is going to put more money into making that thing that they're doing better. Where a for-profit company may go, hey, we can save money here, we can save money there.
Dope,
and that money gets saved to go back into the company, whether it's like to grow the company for next year, whether it's like through physical expansion, maybe to pay your executives. Like, and we, don't get me wrong, like we try and pay our team. We don't get paid. We don't get paid from this event. We pay everybody else first.
True.
And that's because we put all the money that we get into making this event as strong as possible. And that was, again, that was kind of the motivation behind doing not-for-profit. Is there's no motivation to like take money from the event. There's more motivation to put money in.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so like, is what you're saying also like, because companies that are not a non-for-profit and they're trying to save money in certain aspects and put it back to the company, they're kind of cutting corners and like losing quality in a sense?
That's a for-profit thing. For-profits want to make money. So they find like, there's other ways that they'll find ways to save money along the way, but you know, when you start cutting costs, when you start cutting corners,
when you start increasing prices for the attendee.
Okay.
Expectations, energy, all of it starts changing, right? So we have 2 professional sound engineers for our event, because it's a small space. Like, you need good sound. You don't want to just blow people's ears out, right? And when I was talking to them about the budget, you know, they were throwing some numbers around. They're talking about, we can cut this out, we can do that. And I just told my, hey man, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't give me a number you're not happy with. Because
who you this is to your sound engineering guy.
Yeah.
True.
Like, don't like, tell me what's needed for the event. Give me a little bit of a safety net, because I you know, we don't want there to be like, well, we only have 3 mics. What do you mean a co-performer showed up? We don't have room for that. Right. So that's why it's like, you know, we don't want to cut corners where it matters, right? And that is
like, if it was a for-profit, you know, you're looking at it, you know, like, what's your budget? What's your price? What's it? You know, okay, I can do this. You know, whereas in a non-profit, when you have a grant system backing you, now you could genuinely, you know, pay people for their worth in a sense, and not have to sacrifice like, oh, we'll just up the price of the tickets. Or we'll just, you know, like we'll make the money back. But you know, there's no stress on trying to make the money back. It's more about how do we make the event as good as possible.
How do we make sure everybody feels appreciated and taken care of? And so like the best way to put it is, there's more motivation to make the event better than there is to cut costs.
Interesting. So tell us about the promotional / marketing strategy that goes behind these venues. Like, how do you get them so poppin'? Like, what are you doing different? What are some things that were challenges or something that you're like, oh, like you did last year and you're like, okay, this will work better this year?
I think one of the, like, before we even talk about like what we're doing, I think we do have to bring up the fact that one of the biggest challenges we've been discussing is trying to do an event in Brampton, especially because just that. Okay.
Well, because you said it earlier, like, you're like, you don't even need to elaborate. I know what you're talking about.
It's just, you know what I mean, like, there's not a lot of spaces to do events in Brampton, but there's already pretty bad stereotypes, and a lot of people feel like all the poppin' shit is in Toronto or in Mississauga, but there's nothing going on in Brampton. So when you try and tell people, oh, it's in Brampton, you know, you instantly think like the event, event is like a low quality. You know, so that's one of the biggest, and that's part of the reason why we keep the space a secret until you know, until it's time for the show. So people are not thinking too much about, where's this gonna be? You know,
and they stereotype it from the beginning before they even go. They look at the Google Maps and they're like, "Oh, this
what is this?" And it's really, not to hammer home too hard on it, but a lot of our volunteers that we have helping us with our marketing will tell us stories about their struggles when they're trying to invite people to the event, right? And so when we get into like how we're marketing, that's a different thing. But like some of the horror stories we hear is people get really excited for the event. They love seeing the footage. Like, oh my God, where was that? Brampton. And it's like, I don't want to go.
That's crazy.
Like, and the script flips almost immediately. Like, I know someone who goes to U of T Scarborough, right? And her friends have come out to hang out with her in Brampton all the time. So when she's telling them about the event, they're like, yeah, sure, Brampton. Like, she knew Brampton wouldn't be a problem. So when she finally told them it was in Brampton, she's thinking, cool, no big deal. They'll just say, yeah, I'll see you there. And they're like, I'm not going to an event in Brampton.
Yeah.
Like they'll hang out with you at your place in Brampton. We'll go get food around the area, but I'm not going to a public event in Brampton because they have these preconceived notions because of like, social media echo chamber, right? The media kind of controls the way people think, and especially it's worse for young people. I feel like when you're looking at people 27 and up, they're a little bit more capable of thinking for themselves. But the current generation is very, like, even our age group is still very fixated on social media consumption.
True.
And you let that dictate a lot of your thinking without realizing it.
Yeah.
Right. Without kind of going, you know what, like, what are some of the pros of an event in Brampton over Toronto? Well, one, you can actually find parking, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, fair.
Right? It's easier to drive around, and if you live in the area, it's not going to take you all night just to get there and back, right?
True.
So there's a couple of things that we were trying to push the benefits of on the people that we knew were more interested, and it was more of like a joking selling feature, but like they knew that the people who were more open-minded, but for the people who were closed-minded, it's like, you know what, we can't put too much pressure on those ones. We heard, okay, move on. You know what, we're not going to waste our time with you.
Interesting. So what do you do to combat that stereotype, like when it comes to footage and stuff, because you guys have footage from last year, right? So like, do you guys do a certain style of video editing? Do you guys have different people that do different programs to edit and then put those footages out to be like, oh, this is as far?
It's just our style, I'd say. Like, if you look at a lot of our marketing, so last year we didn't get to as many videos as we would have liked. This year we've got a lot more of a team dedicated to getting more content.
But I think even through content, like doing the shit like with the Krispy Kreme donuts, stuff like that.
It's really going into the event, right? It's making the event as amazing as possible for the people who are there, because we can tell you about it all day long, but really what's going to sell you is your buddy telling you about it. Is a random video showing up on your feed telling you about it, right? So we just want to make people excited so that they do the talking for us, right? Because we grew up in a Google Maps and Yelp review like world, and we value other people's opinion, like the people who are confident enough to go themselves and tell us what it was like. We want to take care of those people really well, so that when other people are like, I want to go, but what do I know? They go to the person that they trust. They go to the general public's thoughts, right?
That's dope. And like, okay, so like how does somebody go about like stumbling upon these events? Like me, for example, like I'm always looking for venues and local shows and things to do. Like I'm going on Instagram, I'm just searching Google, like Facebook groups, like everything. Like I'm just like, okay, where's the next pop-in like battle of producers or local artists and stuff like that? Like, how do you guys get your word out in that sense, kind of thing?
We got a couple billboards.
Billboards. Oh shit!
We got a couple.
No way. Where at?
we got a couple in. We got a couple ads running in Garden Square, and we worked with a media company to get us in a couple of locations as well in Brampton and Vaughan. We got a couple of radio ads running on a couple different stations. We're doing this, but a big thing is word of mouth. Like this year, we went really hard on marketing, but we focused a lot on word of mouth because for the first event, we kind of picked people that we thought would be more in tune or engaged, and we didn't just pick, like, we picked them in the sense of like from our network, right? We marketed to the people in our networks. We did some public marketing as well, but we found with the public they were nervous. They didn't know what it was. So it took people who knew a guy related to the event to take that first leap.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
and even though we're doing all this like exposure marketing right now, we know a large amount of attendees are coming because a friend from last year is bringing them.
That's dope.
This stuff we're doing is just kind of reinforcing that, spreading the word, building the awareness, so that like when people finally are confident enough to attend it themselves, it doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere.
True. So is there any like, so I know you got the billboards, like the physical things that people see like in real life and people like word of mouth, but is there also like Instagram
yeah, you can follow us on
promos kind of
like
things
at the basement,
Yeah.
ATHE basement.
uh-huh
We do have a few ads running.
yeah
Just as effort to at least have it show up for people, but like Ren said, I think at the end of the day, like even Instagram ads, even social media ads are dying. You know, at the end of the day, it's always going to be word of mouth, and it's going to be how did you hear about the event? But if you're one of the few people that will actually pull up to an event off the strength of just finding on Instagram, you know, there will be that ad that
That's
you'll come
it.
across and such. So yeah.
That's dope. And the billboard ad. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, so walk us through that. What does that look like?
Yo, so if you go Gardens,
Garden Square in
Brampton.
Yeah.
There's a big ad with all the artists on it. And a big ass QR code.
Is it like one of those digital ads, or is it like a poster?
It's a rotating. Because the way Garden Square works, they've got like an ad roll on rotation.
Oh, true.
And it comes in within the hour. Like on the hour, it does their ad rotation, and we have a couple of ads in there. They're just static ads because we're running the operation. We don't have time to go set up a video production.
Yeah. Static ads meaning like
just like a
literally
poster,
doesn't
basically.
move kind of that poster. Okay,
just like a poster.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like building that visual identity, as you were asking earlier, like how do people know that this is something different? What I was trying to mention earlier is like Jordan and I's style is kind of in the veins of the branding of the basement.
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of the visual posters. There's a drawing that's done. That is done by our poster artist. His name is Andy. I don't know his Instagram off by heart. I'm so sorry, Andy. Don't worry. Kill me.
We'll add it at the bottom.
We'll add it at the bottom. Yeah,
right
please
down
do.
below.
Please do.
Oh, we do this thing where you got to look at the camera. You say something, be like, subscribe and do comments below. Can you guys do that
Andy.
too?
I believe, follow Andy. I'm pretty sure it's Andy JH Pan. I don't know. I'll type it later. No, because he's such a talented artist, man. Like last year, everyone was like, "Oh my god, who did your poster?"
Because the poster has all the artists individually drawn in cartoon form.
That's
in
crazy.
his style.
And every year.
Oh, you drew it?
No, my buddy Andy drew it.
In his style.
So
Okay,
Andy drew it in his style. So he did. I call it the white poster because me and him are like we're huge comic fans. So and we love like
sick,
print.
Dude. Yeah.
And so like the 4-color printing process. So when we were discussing what to do, we said, okay, you know what? Do it like inks only with a splash of red.
Yeah, so
right.
Like that.
So that's the
crazy.
drawn poster. That's the one that Andy does.
That's crazy.
All the black posters I do myself through Canva, but this is like a really big part for me because I love Andy's work. Everyone last year loved Andy's work.
Let me pull you last year's poster too.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
So every year, like that's the whole going back to what we're saying about like having that unique branding to it. So now, and it also goes along with taking like the whole thing about taking care of the artist, right? Now you have that individual element where you're getting your own cartoon, on the poster. Like it's very individualized.
And this doesn't happen a lot. Not a lot of people value visual art to this degree,
they
right?
should though. It's so dope.
So it was really important to us to go like,
That's
this
sick,
is
dude.
beyond just a celebration of general art. This is a celebration of talent, of like people who really know how to bring it. So that's why like I always give Andy the first chance to say whether or not he can take the job.
I like the little the red rabbits with the X on their faces.
So the funny thing, I was talking about that. So I'm half Filipino, but I grew up around a lot of like East Asian culture and a lot of Chinese influence. And Andy's actually Chinese as well. And so when we were coming up with the brand, we were talking about different ideas, what could be like a visual signifier that could act as a mascot. And because we started it in the year of the hare, I said, let's incorporate them.
It goes deep.
And people don't really think about it like that because I often call them dust bunnies. So people think, basement dust bunnies. They're the dust come to life. And the idea of red was because red is the Chinese color of good luck, right?
Damn,
so it's incorporating a lot of like the Asianness into it because like that's a big influence for me, and it's the guy who helped build our brand is very involved. It's a part of him. It's a part of my upbringing as well, and so. I wanted to make sure that was in the veins of it from the start.
That's dope. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, like a lot of like Asian culture like that pops. When I was at work, I doodled this little character and I called him Mushi the marshmallow, and he was like a little marshmallow guy. But like, I think that And I showed it to everybody at work. I'm like, hey, do you know this? They sell it for $600 a T-shirt. And like, oh no, I never heard of this. I'm like, I'm just joking. I just made this up right now. And they believe it because it just looks real.
You never know. Yeah, and
That's
so
dope.
yeah, like me and Andy both being like huge comic fans, it was just throwing ideas off of each other was just really easy, and explaining our influences. And it's funny because we pull a lot of the inspo from. He wasn't trying to make it Scott Pilgrim-y, but he's a huge Scott Pilgrim fan.
Fuck yeah. That's
so
a good
people are like,
show,
looks
movie.
like Scott Pilgrim's there, and he's like, yeah, probably. I'm very inspired by him.
I didn't even really connect that. But
Okay,
that's
interesting, because a
actually
lot of people
crazy.
just went was like, that looks Scott Pilgrim-ish, and I'm like, probably is. Andy loves it. But
That's
he'll
dope.
send me like the references he's using, and it's like
Okay,
Marvel
okay.
ensemble photos. And I'm like,
That's dope.
nice, perfect. You know exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
There's a lot more free reign to just be like nerdy and excited about our ideas because we're on the same page in that regard.
That's dope. Okay, so Andy, he does a lot of your graphic design, I guess,
He does the
like
poster. So
and
he did the poster.
hand drawn kind of thing.
Yeah, that's all hand drawn.
that's
He does it.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
done digitally. Like he does a sketch and he like inks it digitally.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does that one, and he helped like establish a lot of the identity with like the colors and refining the mascots down. Because I
Dope.
gave him like the general idea in an initial sketch, and like
Yeah.
while I do draw it, not to the level that Andy does. So he kind of just like he knew how to take the ideas I was giving him and then just elaborate on them into a more like character design way where it can be replicated. Because look, we love Andy's work. Everyone we've shown his poster to, everyone loves his work. But one of the things he was thinking of is because we're comic fans is you tend to have a rotating door of artists. So he wanted to like
True.
leave enough room that if we hired other artists to
that's
do a
genius.
different event,
Yeah.
they kind of knew here's some general elements, but put your style into it.
That's fucking
Right?
crazy. That's sick.
Yeah.
So, speak to us about your team of like the different people like Andy that do like, you know, the graphic design, and like who are some people that you could think of at the top of your head that are like kind of like valued members of your team that do these different, that carry a department on their own sort of thing.
Kathleen,
Let's go.
Kathleen has been a big help this year.
Dope.
Kathleen also works with Sankavi, and both of them have been a huge help in our marketing this year and really getting us off the ground, getting us a lot of the contacts.
Okay.
We have another volunteer whose name's Alicia. She helped us actually last year get into Garden Square.
That's great.
Dope.
Yeah, because she was her idea to like, hey, like, would you be down to play the concert video in Garden Square after the show? Originally, we didn't really have a plan. We're like, yeah, sure, if you can make that happen, ha ha ha. Because we thought like that's so far removed, and like she did all the initial setting up.
That's crazy.
And so now she helped us build that
that's fun.
relationship. Another guy who's just like he does a little bit of everything is our boy Saksham. He is like always down to help, and he's like just. You need me to pick something up? You need me to drive somewhere? Let me know. He's like, what do you need me to pick up day
That's
off?
dope.
I got it.
That's dope.
And like, it's a huge help because there's only two of us, and sometimes we got to go do stuff together. So when we have an extra car that can just like run some of the stuff, because also if anything needs to be picked up last second, like we host the event, we can't be gone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
We have our volunteers too.
And we have a team of volunteers that keeps growing because everybody's just like, I love this. Like, how can I get involved?
dope.
I'm like, dude, it's a 150 person event. We don't have that many jobs to do.
Yeah.
Right? But they're like, I don't care.
What do you mean it's a 150 person event? You
150
don't have that many
attendees.
jobs to do.
Like with a
Shouldn't you have more jobs? Because
well,
like
150 is not that bad. I mean, like I've got like the event planning experience, and so like with our
Oh,
core
I see what you
team,
mean.
it's very easy to go like you do this, you do that, and our team is very skilled, familiar, and talented.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's not a lot of room for them to mess up, so they just do their job and they do it well.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes they're just like, okay, like what can I do day of? Well, it's a small event, you know. You set up a table or two, but then you know, not much after that, right? You can bring the food out, but then again, not much after that. But it's good because we know that they want to be involved and we know that they want to help. So even if all they can do is a little bit, it's like, hey, man, you know what? Just thanks for everything. Enjoy the show. We'll let you know when we need your help again. Like just having them ready to go is really big. And again, we only really get that because we take care of our people, we take care of our volunteers, and we make sure everybody feels appreciated.
Yeah.
And really make sure we want everybody to be excited.
Yeah.
Because appreciated is one thing, but appreciated is like, okay, I'll come back for the favor. Like, no, we want them to be like, no, I want to do this event. I want to be involved. Right.
That's dope. That's sick. So when you guys host an event like this one, for example, aside from the artists that are performing, who else is involved, like specifically for this event? So like right now you have two sound engineering guys, right? Or is that what it's called? Yes,
sound engineers.
The sound engineer. So you got two people like that. So do you have like a a separate DJ? Do you have like a person who's allocated just for like food?
So the sound engineers are also like, I guess you can call them like the DJ, because we don't this we don't really need like a proper DJ.
True.
We need someone to either play the tracks or do nothing, because really a lot of the artists are coming acoustic. They're bringing a guitar or they're bringing a second singer. They're not doing a whole lot on the technical side. So why we have a sound engineer is because we need someone to make sure that the levels are all balanced, so that the sound is clear.
We didn't want to do it very amateur where we just rented 2 speakers, plugged in, and called it a day, right?
Smart.
We wanted to get so like how you have your mixing console here. We wanted someone that could really study the room and be like, and mix on spot if needed, right?
Yeah.
Because also as an artist, I know what it's like to perform an event and there's no, like, the mix is terrible. People can't hear you, or people don't want to hear you because it hurts.
Yeah, so,
we
exactly.
have the sound engineers. We have someone who's going to be controlling the live stream. We have our volunteers who's helping with the roundabouts, organizing the giveaways, and the food,
setting up the food. Because we get it. We're not always cooking it. It's catered from different businesses, different people who specialize in the different areas that we're bringing.
So once we bring it, it has to be organized.
So like the caterers generally, if they want their stuff represented in a certain way, like the charcuterie board is laid out by the person who's doing it, because it's part of their work, is their art, right? So they don't have to do that, but then the artists will like bring out the volunteers will help bring out the food and the drinks, or like last year we were doing Italian sodas right at the door, so we had a volunteer.
Italian sodas?
Yeah. Italian soda, it's just a fancy word. It's just flavored syrup and soda.
Oh yeah, I've seen that in
don't
Starbucks and like the mall. Exactly. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Italian sodas.
It's just like a refreshing drink, something, and it looks interesting. Right? We had someone like just making those in the back and then serving them out front. Like we have them doing like
they're making them like.
Oh, dude, it's not a complicated process. We're not pulling an espresso shot back here.
Okay.
Soda water and syrup.
Okay.
It's very, very simple, but we teach them, make sure they know that they feel confident doing it in case there's any doubt. And like honestly, because we want our volunteers to be excited and taken care of. Like that energy is felt. One of our volunteers was actually telling me, like, honestly, I expected these people to just be rude. Like, they expected the artists to have egos. They expected the audience to like treat them poorly, because service is a hard job. People always get like chewed out in service for no reason. And they're like, no, like everyone was so nice, everyone was so kind. Like I love being around them. And these like people are normally introverts. Right? Because it's like it was really important to us to like create a good energy in that room, that everybody felt welcome, and like we really did. And that's important to us, like going forward with this specific event, with it like being smaller and intimate, is making sure everybody feels welcome and everybody has a place there.
So it's this event where the Italian sodas are and stuff, or that was
this year? We're doing different. This year we've got a mixologist who's making mocktails.
Damn,
because he like just non-alcoholic drinks. So again, like they're visually interesting. There's different flavors going on, and he gets to market himself in what he does. And he can show the diversity, because some people want. They want fancy drinks, but they don't drink. Maybe they don't drink for religious reasons, dietary. It doesn't matter. But you want to take care of your guests at your event. You know that this guy's got the ability to do that. You're not okay. Here's water. He can make you a nice fancy cocktail, and he can make the non-alcoholic drinker something as well to like still fit in and not feel isolated.
That's sick. So you got a mixologist as well for this coming event.
One,
And so what are the other food vendors that you guys got involved for this event, other than like the Krispy Kreme and stuff?
That's a surprise. That's a surprise.
Oh, it's a surprise? Okay. So surprise. Okay.
He started saying something like,
no, it's not crazy.
You gotta come and find out.
Because here's something that a lot of like our network knows about us is we both love food, and we're always looking for good places. On my Google Maps, I have my list organized by location, by genre of food.
Dope.
Okay, I take this very seriously. Okay, so people know I'm serious about the food, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry what it is. You know it's good.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's good. And for the people who helped us put this event on, we've got their marketing stuff in our giveaways as well. As like an extra thank you for helping out, right?
That's dope.
So then they also know like. Those guys aren't just in the show because they did us a favor or they gave us something for a discount or for free. They're in the show because we like what they do.
Yeah.
And they helped us out.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And these are the vendors you're talking about specifically?
Yeah, the people who will have for food.
Yeah, and how do they reach out to you, or do you reach out to them?
We reach out to them for the most part.
Oh, you guys reach out to them? Mostly?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and a lot of these are like small businesses or up and coming businesses and
in
stuff
the
like that.
area. Yeah, some
That's
like
dope.
got like 1 to 2 locations.
Yeah.
Some are a little more
True.
established, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, we interviewed this smash burger joint called Fat Cat Burgers. If you guys ever
Yeah.
check that out, they're really cool. They do pop up events at like breweries and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they came to the restaurant that I worked at one day, and then we just chopped it up, and then they came here. They brought like butter chicken mac and cheese, some
Ooh.
crazy smash burgers and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
these like tiramisu kind of shit. It was
There's
crazy.
a place that started in Brampton that makes a butter chicken mac and cheese. You ever heard of Holy Shakes?
I heard of Holy Shakes. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Holy Shakes is like savory food
Oh,
company. Like I
damn.
think because every
Okay.
time I see Holy Shakes, they're next to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Right?
okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, no, that butter chicken mac and cheese is crazy.
That's
I'm not gonna
dope.
lie.
That's dope. That's sick. So, if people wanted to reach out to you to be like their food vendor, how would they go about doing that?
just at the basement on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
ATHE basement.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not Hollywood. Like, if you shoot us a DM,
Mhm.
we'll
Dope.
tell you straight up if we're interested or if we could work something
Yeah.
out or if
Yeah.
our hands are full or.
And
you know?
like we kind of take if that were the case, like I'll let you know, we're gonna take the Keith Lee approach of sending someone else in to pick up the food because
Yeah.
we don't want anything extra special. Like if we're endorsing someone by putting them into the event, we need to know that.
You want it standard across the board.
Yeah,
You
we
want
want
it
the
just
standard.
made for that event. So
No,
when the
no,
next-
not even that. Like we don't want to go in and
Yeah,
get
if-
treated really well, get
if
the
someone's-
freshest
if someone's
pizza.
approaching us for
Yeah.
a sponsorship or whatnot, or not sponsorship, but if someone's approaching us that they want to be a vendor,
Yeah,
we don't want to get special treatment
yeah,
when it comes to like trying their food out or
Yeah.
whatnot like that. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
yeah.
So-
It has to always be like
average
what they give
customer
you
should
has to
get-
be what they give everybody
Exactly.
else.
The average
Yeah,
customer
yeah,
needs to have that experience. So like if
Yeah.
they're reaching out to us, we're not going to set up an appointment and like tell them like when we're coming.
yeah.
It would be like, you know, we'll order online ahead of time or we'll send a guy in and let us know what was it like.
That's dope.
Because you don't want to get someone who's just doing the whole show for you. You get the freshest slice of pizza, you get the top of the bin tea, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, you put it in the show, everyone else goes and they're getting treated like dirt.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
food sucks. Like,
exactly.
we can't do that. So
That's facts.
yeah, definitely
Good
reach out.
screening
But
process.
like, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're open to reaching out, but we're gonna give you guys like the fair and unbiased test that like we gave the other guys because a lot of the food that we get are people we found on our own or places that we actually go to.
That's
right?
dope.
We love these places, and so that's why we picked them.
That's dope. That's sick. And how about for artists who want to be on the show, or even for venues that want you to do the show at the venues? Like, how did they go about reaching to you?
Same thing.
Same
way,
thing,
yeah.
but for artists, we're going to be opening a submission form formally on our website just because
True.
the
Yeah.
DMs would get too flooded. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
not
I bet,
We're
organized.
gonna have a forum set up, but also not just because of DM reason, but as an artist, it requires a lot more assets. Like we need
Say
to
that again. What requires more assets? If
like
To prove yourself, like to present your resume.
I
a food spot
see.
could just DM you and say, "Hey, come try our food." But an
Yeah.
artist, we need to see, you know, what was your last song? Give us your bio.
Performances.
Give
show us a
your-
performance, you
Show
know.
us a
Yeah.
performance video. Show
Yeah.
us, you know, your music video. Like it requires a lot more of a resume
true.
when digging for artists. So that one's gonna have its own separate form. you
Smart.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. And then as far as venues go, you
Venues
guys
is
always look
okay.
up. You guys look it up for
We're
yourself.
always
right?
looking around to see
True.
what's available, see what's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really the biggest struggle is like what fits the vibe, what's in a
Yeah.
good location, because we could also like set up some decor and make some things work, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So like we're open, but yeah, I mean if you think you got a place that we should check out, like again, Instagram is probably the quickest way.
Yeah.
And that would be a little bit more of a formal setup, like because we have to like get a tour of the room, see what facilities are there.
Uh-huh.
Because you know maybe the place looks really nice, but they don't have certain things that we need to make the show done really well. Maybe they don't have a lot of power, for example, right? So now it's like, okay, we talk to our sound engineers. How can we set this up?
Yeah.
Right? Is it even possible? Right?
Yeah.
Things like that, right? Because it's all about putting on a great quality event that people are excited for.
And so what are some things that you look for when you go to these venues or these places and stuff? Like, what's kind of like the criteria?
I mean,
It's
for
vibe.
me, it's vibe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Vibe, yeah, like it's just a vibe because you could turn in terms of like you could turn a space into whatever, you know.
True,
it's-
yeah.
If the vibe is there,
Yeah.
you know, if you could change the lighting of the room, you could put up
Uh-huh.
drapes to cover the walls. If
Yeah.
you need to,
Yeah.
you know.
But like, it's very hard to convince. Like, if a rec center that everyone frequents and they already have the image of in their mind, they kind of it's a lot harder to convince them on that, right?
Yeah.
For
that,
attendees to go see,
yeah, right.
that makes sense.
So when we talk about vibe, it's
Yeah.
also like what's the mental association with the place already,
Yeah.
right? So there's certain considerations, but like it's not that necessarily that we're closed off. We got to think like as we build a community, a lot of these barriers will be knocked down. Right, a lot of these biases will go away because people already know. No, it doesn't matter where those guys do it.
Yeah,
it's going to be good because they've already gone through the checklist, right?
That's dope.
But in these establishing years, we got to be a little bit stricter, just so that the audience can learn to trust us.
That's dope.
And the artists can learn to trust us.
And actually, been meaning to ask you this from earlier. Like when it comes to the decor and like the stage setup and stuff, like. Do you guys do that yourself? Do you have somebody you kind of like ask, like, "Hey, I want this kind of vibe"? Do you like what does that look like?
Yeah, it's team effort. It's just,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, you're taking a space and you're converting it into something that people would feel comfortable, like mingling in, and
true.
Mm-hmm.
So, and last year the vibe was like the space was already
set up because it's a
Put
studio.
few
That's
things to
sick.
brand
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and that's it. And this year the space is most likely the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really doing our branding so it feels like it's unique space.
Yeah,
and that's the cool thing about not having it in one specific returning space.
That's dope.
You
Yeah,
never know what to expect.
You know the vibe is going to be different every year.
dope.
Yeah.
All right, and okay, so like going back to like when you guys did your first event and stuff, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys go about finding like letting that event agree to it? And I guess first you needed to get the funding, but you also said in order for you to get the funding and the grants, you had to prove that like as an artist you had artist grants and then you yourself had business grants already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like talk to us a little bit about what are those artist grants and business grants that you first got involved with, and how did you get involved with something
for our
like that?
first grant, that it was such a small grant that the history wasn't as important. In fact, the purpose of that small grant is assuming you have no history.
Oh, okay.
But with the first year, what had actually happened is Brampton Arts Organization was doing, I believe it's like one of their quarterly meetings, where they're just kind of going through what they've done, what they're planning to do in the future, and they were introducing Nightlight Recordings as like a new place for recording artists in the city. And
the studio, the nightlife recordings.
Yeah,
so they brought it up to like the community.
They were just like saying like, hey, we have a space and we do recording. Like you guys should come check us out. Like that was it.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And I liked their aesthetic. Like they got style, those guys. So I looked up their venue.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, their studio. It's not even a venue. It's a recording studio.
True.
And I was like, oh, this place is nice. Like this is beautiful. So I went up to them and I asked like, how would you guys feel about doing a Tiny Desk concert? So Jordan wasn't at this event, but it was like pretty much I want to say a week after I came back from school. This town hall was happening. And me and Jordan, again, had been talking about this for years. So I already knew this was in our mind.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, yeah, man, like, that would be amazing. And I think when they initially agreed to it, they kind of thought, like, it's a networking thing. They're being polite. Sure, kid, whatever you say.
Yeah.
I hit them up, like, 2 weeks later, like, okay, dudes, we're eligible for a grant. You ready to make this happen? And they're like,
that's crazy.
Huh?
Yeah.
But we had a couple more conversations and they're like, you know what, it sounds really fun, we trust you, like let's make it happen. And again, because they're willing to take that risk on us and like let us use their space for such a unique idea, for like not necessarily a unique idea but new one for their space and their business, right?
True. Yeah,
we were trying to do our best to be like as respectful to them and what they gave us. So when it came to like the capacity limit and having to kick people out, we did that no question, because it was just like, we don't want to overstep, we don't want to step on their toes, we don't want to like put them in a weird position, especially after everything they've given us. So we it really was just like, again, like that event happened because everybody involved in the community and the city like took a risk and took a chance and said, yeah, you know what, you guys seem trustworthy, you guys aren't just winging this, you're putting a lot of thought into it, so we'll all take that risk in our own fashion. And man, that's how it went about.
This is the church one?
Yeah, that's the church location.
Nightlight Studios is a church.
Nightlight recordings.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's a recording studio.
The church is upstairs.
The church is upstairs. Yeah, United Church.
And so you guys attended Well, you attended a town hall meeting.
Yeah,
that was
I
about
think that's what
funds and
BOW,
stuff?
Brampton Arts Organization, BOW. I believe it was called the town hall meeting.
Okay.
Is what they call like these like quarterly roundups. And I don't remember too much about all the other stuff that they were talking about, but generally speaking, it's what they've done, what they're going to do, events that they're trying to reach out to, opportunities for artists, programming that they've got going on.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, they're like, oh, and also like there's a new recording studio in Brampton, because Brampton has. You would know more than me. They used to have one in the library. That's gone. BOW opened theirs, but it's very limited access because their office is very new, and it's this place. So 2 that we know of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's why they were like promoting them, like, hey guys, you guys should check this place out. And their rates are very good because they work with the church, and so it was very appealing to a lot of artists. And that was part of also the reason why I wanted to do it there, was because I just really liked those guys and their energy. And when Jordan met them, he really liked them as well.
Dope.
So we all got along, and it was like, if we do a really good event here, people are going to trust them, and people are going to go, yeah, you know what? I will go to these guys. I don't have to go to Toronto all the time. Yeah. And also when you see how talented those guys are, because they did like a professional recording of our concert last year.
The audio or
of the
video?
audio, yeah,
That's dope.
So then it was like, okay, these guys these guys are amazing. These guys do really good work.
Yeah.
I should come here and do my stuff as well. That was kind of the goal with doing it there with them.
That's dope. Damn, cross marketing, and you're promoting them as well too, and all that stuff. Damn, that's amazing. Okay, so that was the first grant that you guys got together to do these venues, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. And this was a grant that, like you said, you don't necessarily need a lot of history with funding and
for
stuff
that
like
first one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then from there, through the same fund, the way just this works with like a lot of funders is after you get that first one, you're eligible to get the second one. Like you could jump a couple of steps if you already have like some, proof of financial record. You've gotten other grants, but we were starting from zero. And also like though that funder ABF, really liked our event, and they were very helpful, very supportive as well. Like I know I've been saying support, but like it's really hard to go through the timeline of how much people were really hands-on in making this work and giving us advice and guidance, because I really think that when we just kind of presented the image that we were trying to make, they're like, everybody was in love with it. Everybody's like, I want to be involved with this somehow, or they wanted to see it do well, and so that's why it's like, with the amount of encouragement we're getting, it's also really important to us to make sure like we live up to that standard that we're setting for ourselves, and the belief that people put in us.
That's and so that was is this the second?
This is the second one.
So this is the second grant that you guys got as a company for this. Okay, that's dope. And is it through the same non-for-profit organization that you guys used last year?
It's a different one, and that was only because of that. So remember, I was telling you like you take away, if we apply for the fund, it takes the opportunity away from the other from that.
If you apply for the fund, it takes away from
the fund under
one
that
you work.
nonprofit.
Yeah,
it means they can't apply for it as well. So last year it was Return the Love. Okay. Right? And we applied for this ABF funding at the low level, right?
What is that? Just a standard
Advanced
name?
Brampton Fund.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a type of,
So we applied for it under him, and it didn't affect any of his operations because that low level one didn't affect the higher level ones, right?
I see.
In the following year, Return the Love was talking about doing an event with the higher level grants, which is where we are. And so we didn't want to take that opportunity away. Yeah. And so to make sure that there was no conflict, I reached out to another person that I have a relationship with, which is Access Innovations. And they weren't applying for the grant this year, so we were able to go to the next step up with them.
So Access Innovations, that's the
Innovations.
Access Innovation. Sorry, that's the name of the other non-for-profit organization, the second one that you guys ran into. Okay, and is this one like a bigger grant and a bigger organization itself?
The organizations are both about the same. So I don't know how large in scale they are, or like how it's kind of hard to measure that metric. It's not as easy as going like, oh, Tim's and McDonald's are the same size, but right, it's not quite the same. But they weren't going into the bracket where a conflict could have been caused with the other guys. So that's why we just went with them.
That's dope. Sorry, guys. Let's see. As I told you guys about technical difficulties and doing all this shit that's got to be done with, it's crazy. But how about technical difficulties and stuff? What did you guys, were there any crazy challenges that were really annoying that you guys had to deal with last year that you're like, oh, God, but you finally kind of found your way around it and stuff.
Well, that's
like
why we try to like make sure we don't cut any corners in the important parts, like in the live stream, in the live performance, because we want to make sure those guys got everything they need and they have their safety net and they got room to work, because we don't want there to be any issues that are irrecoverable, because I mean we're doing this live as well, right? But you've got this whole setup, you've got all your equipment here, so you're prepared for emergencies, right? In our setting, we're doing it off site, if anyone even had a site, so we got to make sure that they can afford to bring all the necessary equipment, right? So that's kind of the way we combat the technical difficulties. Working with people who have experience and have confidence doing this kind of an event and have the expertise to know what's necessary to make sure that, like, should an emergency come up, they can handle it.
Interesting. So basically, like, a lot of the people that you work with are prepared for anything that might go wrong or whatever. Nice. That's sick. And how long have you guys been preparing for this show that's coming up, like, right now? Like, is it something
since last year?
Since last year? No way.
Since the last event finished, it's like, all right, let's get ready for the next one.
Yeah, took our little break where we disappeared afterward because, oh my god, we were tired after doing the event, and then we just got right back into discussing and planning, and then as soon as we were eligible to apply for the grant again, we went through it. And then from then on, it was just, again, like, just locking down the things that could be locked down immediately. Like, we actually, the location that we're at this year, we had discussed before the event had even finished last year. Because when we knew that these guys had a capacity limit and that they were like, they wanted to keep it within it, we were like, okay, well, there's a huge demand, so we're gonna have to look around for something a bit bigger, right?
Interesting.
Because we didn't want to put that pressure on them. We didn't want to make them nervous, and there was some ways to expand, but it wasn't going to, like, be as nice as all of us wanted. Like, we were all kind of in agreement that some of those ideas might be more exceptions than solutions, right?
Interesting.
And so that's when we just kind of decided to move forward and pursue some of the locations we had on reserve. And when we met these guys, like, these business owners were also, like, just very eager, very interested. They loved the idea, and when I say eager and interested, man, I mean, like, when we told them about the event, they were so excited. They're like, oh man, like, I can invite these guys and these guys and these guys, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like, tell people, like, make some papers. Like, as long as we got a solid count for safety, like, it's all good, and they can just, because it's a bigger space, they can hold more.
Yeah.
And when you say these guys, are you talking about the venue or the business, like the other non-for-profit business?
No, the venue.
The venue. Okay.
The business owners of the venue. Yeah.
The business owners of the venues. Okay, that's dope. And what's the capacity like for this one?
I'd say a cozy 100 is pushing it. Like,
dang. Okay, that's more than last year's, right?
Yes. Yeah. Last year was 40 technically.
Oh shoot.
This
Okay.
one I wouldn't. Yeah.
I wouldn't go past 100. Like, could you shoehorn a couple more in? Maybe. And they have an outdoor. They can make it an outdoor thing, but we weren't doing that. I mean, it's the middle of the summer. That's way too hot.
Yeah.
And when you do expand it and you use, like, the full breadth of the space, you could fit a lot more people in. But we were like, no, let's keep it to 100. It's more comfortable, and again, it sticks with that intimate setting where you're always running into somebody. And you can always hear each other, and you can always enter and exit a conversation, which is kind of what we encouraged a lot of last year.
Yeah. That's dope. And when you said you've been preparing for this since last year, what about the artists? Like, how many of the artists that are performing this Saturday, like, how long have you been in touch with them, and how long have they been aware that they're going to be performing?
A couple months in advance.
Oh yeah?
They get a heads up, like, yo, do you want to do this? Is the date? This is the style. This is the idea we're aiming for. Is this something you'd be interested in? And it's like, if it's like, yeah, I'm down. Now you're involved in every part of the planning process, so you're updated on how we go about things and such. So by the time it's the day of the show, you know it's been coming. It's not like we just spring it up on you last minute, like, hey, come perform next week. It's we give you a heads up enough time so you could book the time off, or plan and organize for your performance and such if needed.
But also, one of our performers was a co-performer from last year. Ajani Azur was the accompanist for Sofanari at last year's show, and, like, right after their performance was done, he, like, went right up to Jordan and said, I want to do this show next year.
Like, he didn't perform.
He was a co-performer.
He was a co-performer.
He was he was playing guitar and singing backup vocals.
That's dope.
And for Sofanari, and he immediately went up to Jordan and was like, I want to do this show next year.
That's dope.
And so we're like, yeah, 100%. He
That's
was.
crazy.
I mean, not that like anybody didn't bring the energy, but like a Johnny before any of the performances were going on, he was talking to everybody. Right? He's just like a very
Just
friendly
networking,
guy.
just making
Yeah, very
everybody
talkative.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And he was, I think, a huge part of what got people feeling comfortable talking.
Yeah.
Was because he was unafraid to just go up and be like, "Oh, I like your jacket," and like, "Oh, like what's going on?"
True.
Like, "Oh, the food's great," and like he was just so
Small talk.
vocal.
Good at small talk. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then that spiraled
Yeah.
into larger conversations. Like I don't know if that's just like his personality or whatever, but like he got people talking. It was a huge thing. So when
That's
he was
dope.
like, "I love this, I want to do it," we're like, "Yeah, no
I'll go
problem."
for it.
And we would love to kind of keep it like that. And like, you know, if a performer from a previous year or even an attendee who has a bit of a history is like, I want to do this, like that would be great. We want to build our artists from our community.
Yeah, that's dope. And you said that a lot of the artists this time around are more acoustic, right?
It's mixed, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are bringing backing tracks, and some of them are bringing a guitarist to play. It's a mix
Yeah.
this year.
That's
I'd
dope.
say, yeah, it's a mix.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the artists, or at least an idea of them? Like, if you want to keep it for a surprise.
Knows them a lot
John
better.
Kabongo,
Okay.
rapper from Toronto. He's super passionate. Like I've never
Dope.
met anybody passionate about just the sport. Rap as a sport.
Dope.
Geneva Lay, Tasha Mack, very, very, very eccentric R&B singers that I think contrast each other, but also bring a good, unique vibe to each of the performances.
Yeah.
And then Ajani Azur, as Renji said, he was a co-performer last year. Very high energy, very like some say like he reminds them of Prince.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because
Dope.
of just his energy and just how talented he is, right? So all these artists, they all bring their own flavor to the table, and I think having them together, they contrast each other very well. So overall, I think it's just gonna be a great show. I'm excited for people to see what these guys are capable of.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an hour-long show for the most
About
part,
an
like
hour
15
50
minutes.
max.
Oh.
Sorry, hour 30 max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. And what time does it start?
The doors
open at 7. The shows will start at 8.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's like a nice little hour-long like chill time.
Yeah, like get
people to mingle.
like, warmed up.
Yeah.
Get like the first bit of like snacks and refreshments in.
Yeah.
And then like bring them into the performances, and the performances being like really tight knit.
Yeah.
Only being like about an hour and a half max, and that's kind of giving us like some leeway room if we need it. Is again, it just kind of goes to like get people in, get them comfortable, get them excited, and then after that show, like Jordan was saying, like with the movies, it used to be a way that you would kind of see the movie and then talk about it afterward, and that's
True.
kind of
Yeah.
the energy we saw last year. Is after the show, the energy that was already up was just way higher after seeing the performers. And also like you see the performer and then you get to talk to them right after.
True.
And you can like mention like, oh, I really connected with these lyrics, I really like the energy of this song. Like it made people more excited because a lot of our audience is art appreciators and people who
a lot of the audience are art appreciators.
Right?
That's a fucking sick tongue twister. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right?
Art appreciators.
Like it's hard to find like a way to box them. But the point is like they're not coming here because they like this other artist. They're coming here because they like finding new music and they appreciate live music. Right? So that's an audience that will connect a lot more deeply with the work and can ask you a lot more. And everyone's excited to talk about their work, and people who have a hobby definitely like talking about it. And so that's all goes towards like the energy we're creating in that room.
That's dope, man. That's sick. Interesting. So a lot of the artists that come on there are to a certain extent established, have some experience performing and all this stuff like that. Do any do like the genres of music that you guys play, are they limited kind of thing to like what you guys seek, or like you're like pretty diverse with like like sometimes you got like some acoustic with guitar and sometimes you got some rap and some jazz, like is there some criteria?
Right now it's focused like hip hop, R&B. The reason we blend acoustic and backing tracks is because we want to go for that tiny desk feel, but not completely.
Yeah. Dope. Like a little live feel.
Yeah,
eventually we like to have a band, you know?
Yeah, that's dope.
Like a home basement band.
Sick,
so that the artists will rehearse with and have their own sound.
Dope.
But for now, we just have that blend because that flexibility, right? Not everybody can perform with completely acoustic. Like not because they
Yeah.
can't, but their sound just doesn't allow them to completely. Right? So
yeah.
as of last year, this year, we've just been building
Yeah.
it in a sense where piece by piece, right?
Yeah, and as for other genres, like this is the genre we're familiar with, but that's not to say that we won't find others. Like we've been going to concerts all summer, and we found some stuff that we don't normally listen to that we're like, wow, that was amazing. And like it's not a matter of like, oh, we don't like it, so we don't find it. It's just really hard to find music when you're constantly bombarded with recommendations that are paid, right? So we're definitely open to other genres and other styles. It's just finding the right people, seeing and submitting and finding them. That's why we're outside as much as we can,
of course,
and going to as many things as we can because we would like to like diversify what we offer the audience because we're bringing people who are just excited to listen.
That's so. When you say that you go to, you guys have been to a lot of these concerts. Is it what kind of concerts have you guys gone to this year? Were some of them like pretty big venues, smaller intimate venues?
More
like independent showcases.
Independent showcasing, dope.
Independent shows.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's where you're gonna find the genuine talent. The hidden talent. So you're not gonna get anything from going to see Drake again.
Yeah.
And you get an idea of like you kind of see what works for them as well too, right? Like being that you guys host your own shows and stuff, it's kind of cool to like spread it and see the vibe of like other shows and stuff like that. Because a lot of these are in Toronto, but mostly like a lot of the shows that you guys go to. Yeah, that's dope. That's sick. Well, what are some of the concerts you guys have went to this summer?
Most favorite one has to be
Bitter and Broke.
Bitter and
Broke Young Street Renaissance.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my God!
So what
a show that was.
Sick name.
Yeah, what they did is that they collected a bunch of Toronto artists.
Oh, dope.
And they made one big showcase at TD Music Hall.
Yeah.
What the capacity at TD Music Hall is like, I think 500-600.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
okay,
it's pretty big, and they packed that place out, man. Like it was a really good turnout.
And they did it in a really interesting way because it was artists that they had music with. So it was like their show, their songs, and then they brought on their features to perform their songs
own
live.
Songs. Oh, that's sick,
right,
dude. Yeah,
so you got like everybody got put on, everybody got to like really showcase himself. And one of the big reasons we went, like Jordan knows the guys from Bitter and Broke, but I wanted to go because Sofanari was doing one of the performances there.
Dope.
And it was amazing because I'd only seen her at our show. I wasn't familiar with her work before, so I'd seen her in an intimate setting, and I knew this was a big stage. I'm like, I want to see how she does it, and was
crazy.
That's why I'm really glad that this show is intimate, because seeing that contrast and her range and how much she can do, it was like,
damn.
Before you hear her voice in like a small room, like she's very talented, she got a lot of presence, but seeing her like work a stage and like that big crowd of like 500-600 people, you said,
crazy.
it was like night and day, right? It's insane, and that's why we want to do it, because a lot of performances are done in bigger halls of like even 200 people, right? But that's a different energy for them from what we bring, and that's a big reason why we focus on that intimate nature, is because you can showcase the artist's full range.
That's dope. That's crazy. Sick. That's a really dope one. That one was in Toronto and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Massey Hall
That's
in Toronto.
TD Hall, right?
TD Music Hall. It's in Massey Hall.
Same building.
It's the same building. It's right outside of
I
France.
didn't know they went and built another venue within Massey Hall.
Yeah, like
that's dope.
Massey Hall, and then
upstairs.
TD Music Hall's on top of it.
Yeah.
They got to take an elevator. There's an elevator attendant. That was strange.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you guys have to have like, I guess not an elevator attendant, but do you guys have like security and all that stuff like at these shows? I guess because there's no liquor involved, it's not even that pressing to have that, right? That's it.
Next year when we do that, like if we do something bigger, like a house party or something like that, just off courtesy alone.
True.
Exactly. And like we because it's a very small show, and a lot of people are coming from last year building off, like they know what we're going for.
Yeah.
They know they can talk to us if they see anybody doing anything strange. Like they know, like, hey, we're hosting the show. We're talking to people. We're running things back and forth. We can't see everything, and we know our community's very comfortable talking to us and be like, hey, something strange going on. Like maybe just talk to that guy real quick, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's we got eyes everywhere.
That's what's good about I was gonna say about having that community is because you got like eyes everywhere and stuff like that. Everybody's kind of on the same page, sort of thing and stuff as well too. That's dope. All right, guys, you want to shout out exactly maybe where people could follow you guys' pages, your websites and stuff like that, what they could expect?
So you could follow me on all social medias, Kid Named Tapper, KID named TAPPER. That's where you can get my music. My album Kid Named Tapper is out on all streaming services.
Dope.
And yeah, you can follow The Basement at The Basement. That's ATHE Basement. So,
Dope.
yeah.
Oh,
And
damn.
that's the handle. That's the website. That's the TikTok.
Yeah.
All the same username. We got lucky.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's a pretty lucky.
it's like,
lucky
thank
break.
God.
I'm sorry, I even forgot to mention I got a headlining show August 15th
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
at the Drake Underground. So
Okay, sick.
that one's gonna be crazy as well. So that's after The Basement. Me and my co-performer NC Capo, we're just gonna tear that shit up. So
That's sick.
Yeah.
And people can buy
They
tickets
won't
online.
tell
for
me
that.
anything about this show,
No
but as I
way.
hear more and more of their planning, I'm like,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're putting on a theater production. And he's like, we're not fucking around.
Yeah,
He's like,
Damn.
yeah.
So-
it's, it's gonna be cool. So
Yeah.
they've got
That's sick.
skits, they've got costumes planned out.
Yeah.
They're really putting their heart and soul into that show, and
Yeah.
you know, if you come to The Basement or if you watch the live stream and you like what you see, like, you should definitely check out the August
Yeah.
15th show.
Dope.
So both for the openers performed at The Basement.
Oh, dope.
Oh,
So
yeah,
dope.
actually, that's
we got
right,
Nilo
yes.
Carter.
He
who
performed last year.
and John Camargo, who performing this year. So
That's dope.
yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Yeah.
The Drake Hotel. I think there's like a restaurant above it, right? Is that what it
it's
is?
a
Yeah, okay,
hotel
I've been there
restaurant,
before.
and
Yeah.
Under it has, to me, one of the best music venues in Toronto
Fire.
for independent artists. Like
That's
it's
dope.
it's just clean. The sound quality is amazing, and the
Dope.
lighting is amazing. So yeah,
That's sick. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Awesome. Damn, guys. Anything else you want to shout out for the show and stuff like that?
Ticket sales end July 17th.
Yes, ticket sales in July
Okay,
17th.
for this
For the
Saturday
Basement,
coming, right?
yes.
Okay,
The
okay,
Saturday
cool.
show ticket sales for the in-person registrations end on July 17th.
And where can people get the tickets
You
from?
can get it on our Eventbrite. You'll find
Okay.
a link in our Instagram bio.
Okay, dope.
One more time, ATHE Basement.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Fire. Sick. Guys, great show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
No,
us.
thank you guys for reaching through. Thank you, Kathleen, for
Setting
looking
it
up
up.
and stuff as well too. Looking forward to hearing all about the show. I won't be around for
Yeah.
this show, but I'm hella down to maybe even check out the August 15th one and
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
future ones
no,
coming up as
amazing.
well
Definitely
too.
pop out to that one. That
Yeah.
we're all gonna be there.
Yeah, okay,
That's a
okay,
family
dope,
affair. Everybody
Yeah,
coming to that.
everyone's coming out for that.
Dope. There you go. And tickets, you can find that on your pages
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
was
as well
on my
too, right?
page through universe.com.
Okay, dope.
And yeah, it'll be cool.
Dope. Sounds good, guys. That was sick. Pleasure talking to you guys about this. Learned a lot from it, and definitely excited to see like the show and the upcoming footage and all that stuff as well too. And really, I like what you guys are doing with all that stuff.
Yeah, respects.
Especially like promoting like people that are trying to like make something big and giving good quality with it. I think too is like a big
Yeah,
part of it. I think
exactly.
like that's what some people lack sometimes, but like it's
Mhm.
cool to hear that you guys have like a screening process kind of thing with it, and
Yeah,
you're
it's a
like just going
threshold.
for excellence kind of
Mhm.
thing
Threshold,
in a
yeah.
sense way. That's dope.
I would
guys.
like to purport that I'm not an expert in any of the non-profit or for-profit business things that we were talking about today. Don't take any of that as business advice.
Yeah,
Also, I'm a
we're-
law student. Don't take anything I said as legal advice. I'm only a student. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. That's my disclaimer. So if you
Yeah,
if you take anything I said and you go, oh well, I heard it on the radio show. No,
Makes sense.
no, I have no qualifications.
We're
I don't
just
know
average
anything.
Joes, bro.
I don't know anything.
We're just strangers.
We're just strangers. Yeah.
Love that. That's dope. That's dope. If you guys agree, put the comments below. Just joking.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
guys. Yes, sir. Till next time, guys. Proetiq Radio. Gotta thank the amazing guests again for reaching through, guys. Once again, looking forward to seeing the show and the footage and all that stuff. And hope to see you guys again soon. Like maybe at the end of August or something. If you guys want to pull up again, we could
Yeah,
chop
for
it
sure,
up some
man.
more and all that
I'll be
stuff.
down,
So
I'll be
that'd be
down.
great. Absolutely, guys. All right. Yo,
Amazing.
peace.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.